welcome back to Almost Sideways, a place for movie conversation. The Oscars are only a couple of days away, and I wanted to give you guys a quick update, letting you know that over the next couple of days, the guys, Terry, Zach, and Todd, will be giving you guys their predictions on different Oscar categories, the big six. But also, you can compete and see if you can beat all four of us in our Oscar challenge. Make sure you guys check the show notes down below to compete in our Oscar challenge. Make sure you guys come back to Almost Sideways for a post-game show, a post-show right after the Oscars drop. We'll be going live to talk movies with you. So check them out.
Best Picture. So for Best Picture, we have The Father, we have Judas and Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. Todd, what should win?
The movie I have ranked highest from this year is The Father, and I think that should be winning Best Picture.
Okay. Zach.
I would have no problem with The Father winning Best Picture, but technically I have Sound of Metal a little bit above The Father.
Yeah, Promising Young Woman's my number one of 2020. I need to watch it again because I have it ranked that high. However, The Father, Nomadland, Sound of Metal are all right there in my head as being just as worthy of this award. So I'm going to say Promising Young Woman because it's my number one, but I need to watch it again. So, okay. Todd, what could have been nominated?
I mean, Soul, probably. I think we all love Soul, and I mean that was one of the movies that they were saying was, hey, this is the Pixar movie that has a chance to win Best Picture, not just be nominated. And it really never picked up steam other than just the animated feature nominations throughout the way, which is kind of sad. So I think Soul should have been nominated.
Zach.
Well, I'm going to keep saying never really, sometimes always. I would also say First Cow, but realistically, why not another round? I mean, if it gets a Best Director nomination, it should merit a Best Picture nomination too, but that's just the strange, stupid loophole voting they have with the Best International award, which just, I don't know, just scrap the award, right? Just let's consider them as valid as English language movies.
Well, it is but the directors branch just loves international directors more.
Well, yeah, because they tend to be better movies. That's why they should be, nominated for Best Picture.
Well,
I mean, we
love international directors more. This is going to be what 11 of the last 12 years that a non-American born director is going to win Best Director. Like the directors love like non-American directors.
Yeah, but you're talking about something different. You're talking about directors who were born outside the country. I'm talking about non-English, non-American films. And the truth is, most film critics, a lot of people in the Academy know that the higher quality content is coming from outside the United States, like Roma and like Parasite and like all these other movies that have gotten at least some recognition. So it was a little disappointing and maybe a little even surprising to really not see any of those films in the race this year, maybe due to COVID. But I feel like another round had, a splash in this country and obviously had recognition from the Oscars. So a little surprising to not see it.
Well, I think last year proved that stigma is coming down. It just is going to take a little while potentially, but yeah, I think we're on our way. The one I had written down also was Soul. I think one of the things that they did when they expanded the field was to try and make room for the more popular movies and especially some of the animated. After 2008, when WALL-E and The Dark Knight, two movies that most people said were the best movies of the year, were left out, and then the next year Up was nominated, which was inferior to WALL-E, and then the next year Toy Story 3 was nominated, which was inferior to WALL-E. I know Todd wouldn't necessarily agree with that, but WALL-E I think is a masterpiece. And an animated movie hasn't been nominated since. And I think Soul deserved to be in there. Like Todd said, it deserved to be a part of the conversation potentially for winning. And it wasn't.
Well, it didn't even get the screenplay nomination like Inside Out did. So
yeah, I mean, everyone was saying it has a chance to be nominated. It has a chance to win Best Picture. It didn't disappoint on any front, and yet just disappeared from the race. So Soul could have been nominated. All right, Todd, what will win?
It's Nomadland. I don't really think. I mean, I guess now after the editing awards, that Trial of Chicago 7 has another step in the right direction. But I just don't see it winning any other award necessarily. I don't think I've ever seen a movie win with picture and editing. So I think Nomadland is the only one that really could win.
Zach.
Yeah, I think there's 3 films in this race. I think it's between Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and Minari. And a month ago, I really thought Minari had a decent shot. I think it's a little bit of an easier film to admire than those other two, and maybe particularly Nomadland. It's kind of more conventional in the way that it's narratively framed. I just don't know if it has the kind of buzz and enthusiasm that you really need to win Best Picture. I mean, it takes a whole lot for a movie like Parasite to win Best Picture. I mean, you need the publicity, you need the campaign from the studio, you need the support of viewers, and it needs to really strike a nerve with people. So I think given that last year was an upset and that, you know, we typically regress to the mean a little bit, I feel like I have to go with Nomadland. But I think I would not be shocked if Promising Young Woman or Minari won. I don't think it's
Promising Young Woman has no chance. Like, there's way too many people that hate the movie, and with the way they vote, there's no way that can win this category.
I don't think it will win, but read the Hollywood Reporter Anonymous dude. I mean, he, like, I don't know. I feel like he could be representative of older voters that like some of the more edgy aspects of the movie, but also younger voters who are coming out of the Me Too era. So I don't know. I feel like there could be a swell of support for it.
I would agree with Todd. I don't think Promising Young Woman is the third horse in the race. I think it's The Father. If you're gonna say it's a race at all, it's Nomadland, The Father, and Minari.
The
For the longest,
80-1.
What?
The Father's at 80-1.
Really? But I think for all the things we've been saying about how it's catching steam at the right time, I mean, even since nominations came out, The Father has gotten more and more buzz. And I think if anything takes down, I've been trying to think for like ever since nominations came out, I've been trying to think what is going to take down Nomadland, because nothing rides the entire season as this big of a favorite. At least nowadays. You have to go back 10 years to have something that just swept the whole season like this. And for a while, I thought it was going to be Minari. So I kept on thinking, what's the narrative? And I guess you could say there is the narrative. I mean, Yoon Yoo-jung winning supporting actress. If it wins screenplay, you could see the scenario of it winning picture, especially since you look at more times than not right now, director and picture split. You don't have them match up perfectly. The Father's surging at the right time. All it knew it just needed to be a part of the dance. And now that's the most popular of all of them.
Possibility. Chicago 7's in second place on Bovada. It won the SAG, and it won. It could be winning editing like that. And you think that's not even one of the top 3 choices?
No, it won the SAG because it was the largest cast. I think the SAG ensemble means nothing anymore when trying to predict the
largest cast, and they didn't nominate Promising Young Woman.
And I'm not saying Promising Young Woman. I'm saying The Father, Minari. If Minari had won the SAG, I was prepared to say now Minari's winning.
Chicago 7 did, and Chicago 7 could still win screenplay, and it could still win editing. Like, Chicago 7 is very much in second place,
and got snubbed for perceived lock in Best Director.
It wasn't a perceived lock. They snubbed Ben Affleck too. Like, they don't like people who aren't directors.
It doesn't matter. We're all just arguing to try and figure out what's second place behind Nomadland, because Nomadland's winning. So
I'm just saying, there's no way Chicago 7's in fourth place.
I don't know. It's not that far down the list, but it's not winning.
There's no. I mean, is anyone passionate about it? Like, people were passionate about 1917, you know? People were passionate about Get Out. People were passionate about Moonlight. There's no swell of passion for the Trial of Chicago 7. And, of course, in the voting system, that may result in it being second place.
Is anyone passionate about Nomadland? I don't think there is. I think it's just like the default, like, yeah, it's probably the best movie. I'm voting for that.
I feel like
anyone's passionate about it.
I feel like this year's 2017. that's what I land on. And in 2017, you had the front runner. Pretty much the whole race was The Shape of Water. It was a female-centered narrative in the wake of Me Too, and everybody just kind of went with it, even if they didn't love it.
Well, I mean, you could have said that about 3 Billboards too, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, that year was an interesting Best Actress race as well.
3 Billboards was like the promising young woman of that year.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Except
2017.
it actually won a lot of things, like the Golden Globe and Critics' Choice.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, Nomadland's going to win, and it just seems weird because it is as atypical of a Best Picture winner as I think we've ever seen.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, when we reviewed it, I thought this is just it's way too unglamorous to win Best Picture. It's not pretentious enough. It's way too close to like Terrence Malick territory. And we've seen like The Tree of Life and Roma and these films kind of falter in Boyhood. These kind of unconventional films falter, but I think it's just, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of swelling of support for these other films. I think that's the real issue. It's kind of like, it's almost like the 2020 Democratic nomination. It's like, okay, there were a bunch of these individual strong nominees, but they all none of them dropped out at the right time, and nobody could actually promote a forceful opposition to the front runner in the end. They just needed to decide on one of these films. Was it going to be Minari? Was it going to be Trial Chicago 7? Was it going to be Promising Young Woman? Nobody decided. So I think that's just, we go with the default.
I think it's easy for everyone to forget that Nomadland had a very unprecedented double up when it won the Audience Award at TIFF and the Golden Lion at Venice. No film has ever done that before. And especially looking at how the Audience Award at TIFF has really been a predictor of the Oscar race recently. And then you add to it the Golden Lion. I mean,
But virtual film festivals are a completely different animal.
True, but still, it won those two things, and I feel like this entire season, everyone has been trying to say, and including me, how is Nomadland going to lose? Instead of saying it's a lock to win.
You should pick The Father, Terry, just for the sake of it.
80-1. I mean, you should throw some
80-1. It might be worth putting some money down on it if I think it's that close. Yeah,
I think a more strategic release date of Judas and the Black Messiah could have actually made it a real contender to win, but when it came out, it just, and how it came out, it never got the traction. But I think that movie has the type of support within the group of people that have seen it that it could have made some damage, and it ended up getting a decent like group of nominations in the end, like two acting, screenplay, cinematography. All
right. Well, that is those are our shoulda, coulda, woulda awards for this year's Oscars. Make sure you are tuning into the Oscars coming in on Sunday, and tune into the Almost Sideways podcast, because I believe we're going to be doing some live reactions after the Oscars are over on Sunday night, and recording a live podcast that will be up on YouTube live as it's happening. And then will be posted onto the YouTube channel, the podcast channel, soon after that.